Hi there. I'm Jan Sievers Mahan. I'm the director of the Edith J. Carrier Arboretum at James Madison University. And today I'm speaking with Carrie Carpenter. She's the owner of the Plant House in Harrisonburg, Virginia. And she's a lover of houseplants. And thank you, Carrie, for joining us today from your home. We're practicing good social distancing today. And we're really appreciative that you're going to share with us all your knowledge about houseplants.
Thank you, Jan. It's good to be with you today.
So tell us about how you fell in love with houseplants and how it became a business.
So I think like most people, I'm drawn to nature, and my passion began with just wanting to have something beautiful and living in my home for decoration. During the last few years, my collection of plants was growing. My interest in learning about the plants was growing. So when I decided I needed to have a new path, it seemed just the right thing to do to continue that interest and surround myself with plants.
And what would you say your favorite part of this job is?
I love the research. I love the learning. I love the reading of the books, about everything having to do with plants. I love my daily routine of inspecting the plants, of looking for new growth on the plants. I love the interactions with other plant lovers in the area and worldwide through social media. That's been really fun to connect with other plant lovers. So, I mean, I spend my day with peaceful, beautiful, living things. There's a lot of joy in that, and so every aspect has been really wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are at home right now, and this would be a great opportunity for folks to hunker down with their houseplants and do some upkeep and maintenance and repotting. And I'm just wondering if you could run us through some of the kinds of things that you would recommend if they haven't really paid attention to some of those plants for a while. What might they do to reinvigorate them?
So spring is a perfect time for lots of plant related things. It's time to start fertilizing. This is a good time to wash down the leaves, to dust your leaves. Good time to inspect for pests. It's a good time to look at roots to see if it's time for repotting or potting up. All kinds of great things. Good time to, to do some research on neem oil and perhaps make a mixture of neem for preventative, or a rubbing alcohol mixture for pest control, things like that.
Neem oil, I know it is used for many applications. Is it only spray, or do you also wipe leaves with it?
I personally use it as a spray, so I use it as a preventative. I usually use rubbing alcohol or diatomaceous earth if there is a pest issue for treating.
Oh, I'm wondering if you have any plants there that you might pull out and show our audience that are some of your favorites, easy care, or just have something special about them that you would want to pass on.
Well, I brought down just a few of my mini plants that seem to be really popular right now. This one is the blue chalk sticks. These are the ones that I have up on the topmost shelf right underneath my grow lights, and so they were hard to see in the camera. So I brought these down. This one is a Crassula ovata jade plant. It's really kind of quirky. And then I have an Echeveria, a succulent here. And succulents, of course, are really popular. People tend to think they're easy care. And if you have the right environment, anything can be easy care. But they don't require watering very frequently and tend to be a little bit forgiving. So a lot of people find them to be popular. So
they can take some neglect.
They can take some neglect. Some.
They do need good light.
They need a lot of good light, yes.
And so I see your light table. Is that something you only use in the winter, or do you treat your plants differently season to season?
So I leave the grow light on during daylight hours. I have it on a timer, so it's kind of with the sun. So the plants are having that same cycle that they will when they go to someone else's home, when someone else doesn't have a grow light. I try to keep that transition pretty natural for the plants. So the ones that would need a lot of direct light, I have under the grow lights, just because my window space is used up with a lot of other plants. Also, changing where the plants are because the sun is coming into windows differently through the seasons is something that I've had to learn and be willing to move things around as I see fit.
And I see a beautiful multicolored rubber tree plant behind you. I'm wondering if you can grab that and talk about it at all. It seems
It's
pretty
really
unique.
heavy.
Oh, is it? Is it a big one?
I'll slide
Well, maybe
it forward.
you can just talk about it right from there.
Yeah.
It's got some beautiful pink coloring to it and looks like it's variegated, but I don't know if that's what you call that.
It is. It's variegated. This is the Ficus ruby. It is one of the plants that have pink in them, which has been very popular lately. This is a gorgeous plant. There's several different ficus that are of this kind of style. The Ficus burgundy has a deeper green color, but the same leaf shape and same care. But this is the Ficus ruby.
Are there any planting styles that you enjoy or employ, or pots that you recommend, or containers that you feel like really work well?
I'm an advocate for pots with drainage. I think that's a really important way to keep plants healthy and happy. I also know that the different container materials can make a difference for a plant. For example, terracotta tends to dry out faster. So for plants that don't like for their potting mix to stay too moist, and for the potting mix to dry out a little faster, terracotta is a really great choice for plants that like you've got a beautiful maidenhair sitting next to you.
I love the maidenhair.
That one would do very well in a ceramic pot, just because that will retain the moisture. Like a glazed ceramic pot will retain the moisture in there a little bit more.
Have you tried planting your plants in different types of environments, like terrariums or different kinds of containers that have a different look, a different aesthetic, and maybe need other care?
I have done some terrarium building, and for someone who's really into having drainage, it was a really hard transition for me to try that. So I did a lot of research on the layering to make sure that the roots could stay healthy, and that the plants would be healthy.
Show us what it is that looks like and how many layers take up the pot or the container. And is that about reducing rot, all the layers?
So the layers are certainly about keeping the roots healthy. I'm hoping that you can see here, but I'll tell you too that the layers, the first layer I put in is some pebbles, just some river rocks at the bottom, and then a layer of horticultural charcoal. And then I do a layer of sphagnum moss and then the potting mix on top. And then the plant roots are nestled down into the potting mix and some into the sphagnum moss as well. Now this is an open terrarium, so it does require some watering. And these are all plants that like humidity and like to keep their roots, or like to have their potting mix to stay a little bit moist. So this one requires a little bit more care, but the glass dome also helps keep some of that humidity inside. And this one is one I made months and months and months ago. It's got a little bit of condensation on there, but hopefully you're able to see. It has the same layers, but with the lid on, I haven't had to do anything with it, no water or anything for several months. And so it just has its own environment and it keeps itself healthy in there. And it is needing some pruning. I know, Jan, you were talking about they will keep growing, of course, and they'll reach their lid. So I could reach in there and do some pruning as well, and then it will tend to grow a little bit fuller toward the sides rather than growing straight up. But it does require some care. But pretty neat that it doesn't need a lot of watering very often.
I think that a lot of the viewers might really enjoy having a terrarium that they don't have to water but a couple times a year. That would be pretty amazing. And then you still watch things grow inside. I asked you to open that up and show us. Would it mess up your program there and let all that moisture, humidity out?
It wouldn't bother it at all. I don't know if you can see in there now.
We might be able to see
Can
the
I
plant.
tip that over?
Yeah. Okay.
And you can see, yes, I definitely need to do some pruning. It has been growing just fine in there.
You can tell it's springtime.
And I could clip this and place that in water to propagate and start a new plant from this. So it's not just pruning and discarding, but I can prune and create a new plant from that as well.
Carrie, at this juncture, a lot of people are home and some people are home alone. And having plants and pets are a great way to fend off loneliness. And I'm just wondering if you could speak a little bit to all the benefits of growing houseplants.
You know, the surge in popularity of houseplants recently has been really wonderful to see, but I'm also noticing that people are realizing that not only are plants a beautiful and interesting addition to their homes, but just the process of learning about them and the process of caring for them and nurturing them can really be truly therapeutic. You know, having healthy and happy plants requires some effort, and I think people are finding that just that nurturing process has a lot of benefits, not just for their plants, but for us as well.
And they also clean the air as well, too.
They can, and the more you have, the cleaner your air will be.
Yeah. Carrie, thank you today for sharing your knowledge and your love of tropicals and houseplants.
Thank you, Jan. I love talking plants, and so this has been a lot of fun.